Hello, this message is for someone who in recent times has gone through a very profound change of mind around a certain topic. And if this message is for you, it's kind of a big topic, okay? So it's like a major life perspective thing that has shifted for you in recent times if this message is for you. And it has shifted due to a series of experiences that you've gone through that were tremendously unexpected is what I'm getting. You didn't see this coming at all. But it's like certain things took place in a specific series, in a specific sequence that caused you to look at a situation so differently that it's literally changing almost like your values or like the way you perceive something really major. I'm getting something like this perspective shift is like life changing, and whoever this message is for, you're kind of struggling with it because it's a very intense experience that's almost making you feel at this point disoriented. And why do you feel disoriented? Because if this message is for you, you're a grown person. This message is for a fully grown person that thought that they were well versed in whatever topic this is about. You thought that you had things pretty figured out. You felt like you had a lot of experience in this regard. You had come to your own conclusions. You were pretty self-assured. And you felt like you had a pretty good handle, grip, whatever you want to call it, on the topic, on where you stood, on how you saw things. And again, whatever has taken place, which I'm getting is not just one thing. It's a series of things that happen, and the way they happen, like there's a lot of nuance here, okay? It's almost like it felt divinely orchestrated now that you're looking at it from a little bit more distance. Because if this message is for you, this happened recently, but not super recently. So maybe in the last month or two or something like that. So it's like you're now coming to terms with these big realizations, and you're sort of looking back and you're like thinking that this was like divine intervention. You feel like for you to come to these radical conclusions and these radical shifts in perspective, like it's bigger than just it's like not a coincidence. That's what you're starting to see, that it's not a coincidence, and like this is some kind of pivotal moment in your life is what I'm getting. That's how you're feeling, and you're very overwhelmed and you feel disoriented because again, it's like you were really sure of yourself on these topics. You thought, like this was a little bit like the foundation of your identity, I'm getting a little bit. So what you're going through right now, it's not exactly, okay, it might be an identity crisis feeling thing. Okay, I wanted to soften it, but God's like, nah. So, I'm not going to play sugarcoating games. Sugar's not good for you. So, let's just not do that. The truth is you're going through an identity crisis if this message is for you. And why? Well, it's because major belief systems, not just one belief, but belief systems that you had that shaped who you were and how you showed up in the world and the way you did things have been radically shaken from their foundations to the point that they don't hold anymore. Like what you used to think before this happened, you feel now. You might feel a sense of shame almost is what I'm getting, because you're like, how could I be so wrong? How could I be so off? That's how much your eyes have been opened and how much you feel like you were off before. Now you're feeling like there's an ego death that has taken place is what I'm getting as well. There's an ego death that has taken place through you coming to these realizations and your views being so shaken up, and you looking back on yourself that you were so off and so wrong and yet so sure of yourself. So what I want to say to you, Despite how uncomfortable this is, and this is a side note from the message, this is my personal spiritual counsel, is that this is really, really good for you, okay? I know this sucks, this feels awful, I'm sure, disorienting, and I'm getting all the downloads, so like, I know how you feel, and it's not good. I've also been there, so it doesn't feel good, but let me tell you, this is one of the best things that can happen to your soul. The breakdown of your ego is where all soul evolution starts, okay? So it's through this pain of realizations that you will grow as a human being and you will come closer to your true path in life, okay? So you have to follow the path of your awareness, okay? So as you become aware, that's like a light being shined, literally. The light of our awareness shines the path. If you go back into darkness, well, it might feel, because I'm getting there's a sort of temptation in the back of your mind to go into some sort of denial, some sort of pulling the wool over your eyes and sort of pretend. Like there's a temptation to pretend you never realized this. And it's your ego trying to survive. But what you need to understand is, in order to evolve, you need to starve the ego, okay? Because the ego limits your growth out of fear of the pain that this growth takes, okay? It's trying to protect you on a very primal level. It's trying to protect you so much that if it was up to the ego, you would never grow, you would never evolve, and you would certainly never fulfill your life's purpose. So your ego is, in a way, is the opponent, like in a game of tennis, okay? I love tennis, and for a long time, I'm in the habit of playing tennis against the wall. Why? Because I don't have the ideal tennis partner always, okay? I play tennis with my husband and it's fun, but there's been periods of my life where I really felt passionately about tennis and I wanted to be challenged and I just didn't have that, right? And, classes, whatever, but what I'm getting at here is that without an opponent, we can't get better. Okay, if there's like, think of any sport. If there's no other team, there is no game. There's no improving. There's no game. There's no point. Okay, so your ego plays that role. Your ego plays the role of the opponent to train you. It's like the tennis teacher. Is the tennis pro challenging you to your next level. Now, if you give in to the ego and you go, well, you're a tennis pro and I am not, and I am never going to beat you because I'm a lowly being in comparison to you, then you won't get better. So that's what the ego kind of wants. The ego wants you to give up so you avoid the pain of humiliation of being beat by your tennis pro on a daily basis, right? So that's what it's doing, and that's why it's so painful to get past it, okay? But the thing is, your evolution is on the other side of this and everything you want. Now, what I can tell you from what I know about manifesting and how the universe works is that in order for this to have happened to you, you had a vessel for it. What that means is there was an emotional, spiritual, energetic vortex that attracted this into existence. You wanted the results of this experience, and this is why this experience has materialized in your life, is so you can get to that evolved version of yourself that you are wishing for. And this is the only true pathway, is to evolve into it. And so it's going to take this kind of trials, okay? So in order to you need to remind yourself that you want to be this evolved version, okay? It's like your Goku. You want to be this evolved version, so the old one's going to have to die. The old one meaning your ego identity. And that's why he's struggling right now. Like, no, let me go back to my, less aware, perceptive state where I can continue to exist as that version of myself. Now, that version of yourself, though, is cached. It's not, you won't feel good in it anymore because you've seen beyond it. So now the only option is to evolve. So that's the position you're in. And the message I'm getting, specifically the guidance, is that if you embrace this and follow the evolution is trying to lead you into, you will achieve everything you've been trying to manifest for a long time. So I hope that was helpful.